Grading the Detroit Lions draft, starting with their first round selection where they took Blake Miller, the offensive tackle out of Clemson. And I really like this pick for the Lions. I had him mocked to go to the Lions, and so did many people. Pretty much every mock draft that I saw before the draft had Blake Miller to the Lions, and it ended up happening. It was just a match made in heaven. They followed that up by drafting Derek Moore, the edge rusher out of Michigan, in round 2. And I thought this was a solid pick. He did go a little bit higher than I expected him to, but I understand it for the Lions. They needed help in that edge rusher room, and you get him next to Aiden Hutchinson, and I'm sure he'll learn a ton and get a lot better just with that alone. But overall, solid pick for the Lions. I don't hate it. In round 4, they drafted another Michigan Wolverine, and that was the linebacker Jimmy Rolder. I thought this was an okay pick. He went a little bit higher than I thought he would too. I understand you need some depth in that linebacker room. I just thought there was some bigger needs to fill in round 4, but overall, I'm not going to hate on it too much. I thought it was a solid pick. With their first 5th round pick, they drafted Keith Abney II, the cornerback out of Arizona State. And this was my favorite pick of the draft for the Detroit Lions. I had a 3rd round grade on Abney, so getting him in the 5th round was certainly a steal in my opinion. And I think he fits a positional need for this Detroit Lions defense. And with their 2nd, 5th round pick, they drafted Kendrick Law, the wide receiver out of Kentucky. I thought he would be a 7th rounder, but obviously they saw some traits in Law that they liked. And I'm not going to question the Lions when it comes to drafting wide receivers. I think at the very least, he'll be a special teamer and a depth piece at that wide receiver position. And with their 6th and 7th round picks, they drafted Skylar Gill-Howard, the defensive tackle out of Texas Tech, as well as Tyree West, the edge rusher out of Tennessee. Both of these guys will be fighting for backup positions as well as contributing to special teams. At least that's what I think. But my overall grade for the Detroit Lions, it's going to be a B. I thought they had a solid draft. Nothing that really blew me away. I like the Blake Miller pick. I like the Derek Moore pick, and I like Keith Abney especially. But besides that, it was pretty whatever. Solid draft, not a home run draft. But let me know what you guys think. What grade would you give the Detroit Lions?